What's going on, Washington Commanders Nation? Today is Thursday, March 6th, and another elite player has entered the fight for trade request roulette in the offseason of 2025, and Washington should definitely give a call to the Cincinnati Bengals. Let's talk about it. Per every NFL insider, about 20 minutes ago, the Cincinnati Bengals have given elite sack leader in the NFL, edge rusher Trey Hendrickson, permission to seek a trade. Per Trey Hendrickson, it's been an honor and privilege to represent Cincinnati over the last 4 years. I love this city and organization. I appreciate the privilege of now being allowed to explore my options. The sack master in the NFL right now. If you don't want to believe me, here are his statistics for his last 5 seasons. 17 and a half sacks in 2024, 17 and a half sacks in 2023, 8 sacks in 2022, 14 sacks in 2021, and 13 and a half sacks in 2020. That is his last 5 seasons. That is 77 sacks over 8 seasons in the NFL. And he hasn't played in every game in his career. That is a phenomenal line for this guy. He is a versatile defensive end. He's a run stopper. He's a pass rush extraordinaire. I know the Myles Garrett dream, they keep telling me is getting dim. I'm going to hold out hope until I see. Here is a realistic and available per his franchise pass rusher. While Myles Garrett, the Browns may be trying to hold on for dear life and ignore the fact that he wants no part of that organization anymore, the Cincinnati Bengals have chosen to franchise T. Higgins, and they're going to give Jamar Chase a wide receiver market resetting contract before the season starts. They've chosen their offensive nucleus over building their defense. I know a ton of you, a whole bunch of you been in my comments. Rio, where are the videos about the defensive additions to this team? How are we going to get this defense better? Here we are as we stand here on March the 6th, 4 days away from the start of the tampering period in free agency. An elite 30-year-old football player that fits a huge need for this defense has been made available. Unlike the Cleveland situation, the franchise has accepted that it must move on from one of its better players and easily the best player on its defense, the most pass rush productive person in the NFL, the most untalked about elite player in the league, Mr. Trigger Trey Hendrickson of the Cincinnati Bengals and formerly of the New Orleans Saints. Y'all want your new, more productive Ryan Kerrigan? Ding, ding, ding. He's right there. He's going to cost, but like I said on my stream yesterday, if you want to add elite talent, you have to pay an elite cost. He has $16 million left on his last year in Cincinnati, and he's seeking a new contract extension, an extension that the Bengals said, yeah, we're not going to be able to do that because we're about to give Jamar Chase quarterback money, and we're paying T. Higgins on the franchise deal. We're trying to keep Joe Burrow's guys together because without that, what are we as a team? And Trey Hendrickson is, for our fortunes, the odd man out. There will be a ton of teams in the market for Trey Hendrickson. Dude is a dog, an absolute dog. We saw him on Monday Night Football this year. We actually held him to a very nothing-ass game. We did the same thing to Myles Garrett. Funny how both of those guys are in the trade market the year after we played both of them. But Washington should very well shoot their shot. They will not be trading more assets to get another receiver. That will be signings and draft picks to fill out the receiving room. But however, on the defensive side of the ball, we have made a trade for Marshawn Lattimore. None of what we've done at the deadline or up till now would stop us from getting in the mix for Trey Hendrickson. And what's crazy is he's going to cost, but I don't think he'll cost more than Myles Garrett. But sack production-wise, this is the best in the league right now. This is the best in the business. We're talking the league leader in sacks. A player of this magnitude would dramatically shift Washington's expectations and the floor for our defense. We know Dan Quinn defenses do not stop the run. We can't get any worse stopping the run, and Trey Hendrickson is good enough versus the run. But his specialty is making quarterbacks' lives hell. We got production out of 10.5 sack Dante Fowler. Problem with Fowler is he is a liability when teams run the ball against us. You do not have that same problem with Trey Hendrickson. Trey Hendrickson on one side, Dorrance Armstrong and Fowler rotating on the other side, or maybe a draft pick and John Baptiste filling in that room after Armstrong and Hendrickson. That is a fortified edge unit. And Washington should very well be a team that calls the Cincinnati Bengals about it. Let me know what you think. I don't know what the cost is going to be for this guy, but I think it's going to be less than Myles Garrett. Trey Hendrickson, production-wise, is as good as anyone in the league as an edge rusher. But you know how name value matters in this league. But whatever the cost is for Trey Hendrickson, I'm in. I'm in because I don't think from where we picked 29, 61, 79, I don't think there's a Trey Hendrickson just sitting there. Yes, Trey Hendrickson was drafted in the 3rd round, but do we have the time to wait on a young edge rusher to come in and start immediately? Or do we want to jumpstart this bitch and get right to it when the season starts in 2025? Trey Hendrickson is the kind of move the Eagles would have made in this position when they were starting their build. Because when they needed something, they went out, they attacked success, and they got it. And that is the model of what teams are chasing after right now. And Adam Peters has shown you he is aggressive calculatedly when there's something he wants. We went out and got Marshawn Lattimore. We went out and got Deebo Samuel. If they want Trey Hendrickson, we will be on the phone and we will be talking shop with the Cincinnati Bengals, and I see no reason why Washington wouldn't want to be a part of that. Dante Fowler, phenomenal season. I would still offer him a nice little raise of pay, but I'm not breaking the bank for Dante Fowler Jr. That's a pass rush specialist down player. That is not an every down type player. I like Dorrance Armstrong and his $15 million a year, but this right here is different. This right here is different. This is one of those ones. This is one of those guys. This would be the first player on this defensive unit of Dan Quinn and Joe Witt Jr.'s where offenses have to literally create an entire game plan to neutralize this player. The closest we got to that on our defense right now is Frankie Louvu. But Hendrickson is a clear-cut, okay, how do we account for this guy? Every week type of player. And we got to at least pick up the phone and see what he's costing. I know you can't trade for every player that becomes available, and you can't sign every free agent, but you'd be pretty damn stupid to not make a phone call about one of the best defensive players in the league. We all want Myles Garrett. Everybody wants a piece of the Myles Garrett sweepstakes. Well, guess what? The Browns haven't reached stage 5 of the grief process yet. They haven't reached acceptance. So as far as they're concerned, as far as he's concerned, he's off the table. The Bengals made a decision, and they did right by their player. They said, before free agency, we're going to grant you the right to go seek a trade and go talk contract with whatever team possibly is shelling out compensation to us to have you. Good on the Cincinnati Bengals. And that's not a team that usually is involved in trades. They're a very not active team when it comes to this type of aggression. But good by them to do right by their elite player, and good by Hendrickson to, keep it classy and wrote a little pretty much goodbye to Cincinnati and about his time there. He's made a name for himself after coming over from New Orleans, was an absolute home run of a free agent signing by them, killed it for 4 years, and now it's time. Killed it for 3 years, and now it's time for him to move on. It's time for him to spread his wings. And when big trades are to be made, I imagine the first thing they think about is let's get this guy shipped to the opposite conference. Let's get him shipped to the opposite conference, and he probably wants to play for a contending type team. I know he wants his money. Whoever trades for him is going to have to write him an extension. Good thing Washington got money. Everybody talking about the Debo trade. That Debo money is going to be smack dab a null point once we either release or trade Jonathan Allen. Jonathan Allen goes off the books. His $16 million pretty much clears the $17 million we paid Debo. We're going to lose $1 million in cap, and we're going to be right back where we were before any trades or releases were made. So money ain't no thing over here. We got funds. We got money to blow, money to spend, and it would be responsible as hell to shell out compensation and cap to a player of the likes of Trey Hendrickson. 30 years old is not too old. He's still in his prime. He's still getting busy, coming off back-to-back 17 and a half sack season. Y'all don't want that on your football team? I don't know what to tell you. We've been talking about receivers galore. We've been talking about offensive pieces being added to this team. Here y'all go. A defensive chess piece has been added to the board, and an elite one at that. The sack master, Trigger Trey Hendrickson. Let me know what your thoughts are below. Let me know what you're trading for this guy. Whatever the asking price is, he's worth it. He's worth it, and he's still got a few good, excellent years left in him, and he's ready to go. You love to see a great player be counted out by the team that they're on because it opens up an opportunity, you know? We're not going to be the only team interested in Trey Hendrickson. You know, the Lions and the Eagles going to be sniffing as well. There's going to be some really good teams in the mix. Adam Peters, if that's your guy, go get him. One chess piece came off the board, never really came on the board. Max Crosby never requested a trade, never was in conversations to be traded. He got extended 3 years, 106. Trey Hendrickson the next day coincidentally gets permission to seek a trade. So the Bengals saw where that edge market was going and said, well, after we pay these receivers, there's no way we could pay Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Trey Hendrickson. And for a defense that was absolute ass juice last year and was the sole reason the Cincinnati Bengals didn't make the playoffs, they got a long way to go in building that defense up, especially after losing the best player they have. Trey Hendrickson is up out of there, and that is my case for Washington to make a run at Trey Hendrickson. It makes all the sense in the world. Cleveland's not trying to play ball with Myles Garrett right now. Well, guess what? 1 year older, absolutely elite pass rusher has now become available. What you going to do, Adam Peters? What you going to do, Lance Newmark? You know, if it's in the cards for us, you will hear Washington link to him very, very soon. But let me know what y'all think in the comments below. An elite pass rusher is on the board and available to be traded for. This is a more realistic option than trading for another wide receiver after DK Metcalf requested a trade from the Seahawks yesterday. Let me know. Let me know what y'all thinking. Y'all been like, Rio, talk about some damn defensive players. You ask and you shall receive. That's all I got for right now. Hail to the Washington Commanders. Trey Hendrickson, come on down, especially if the price is right.